Welcome to Marketing in the Age of AI, the show for leaders who want real results, not more noise. Join Emanuel Rose as he helps business builders turn AI from a confusing add-on into a practical advantage with clearer messaging, stronger trust, and smarter systems. If you felt the shift happening in real time, you're not imagining it. In the agentic pivot, Emanuel calls it the move from experimenting with AI to building with it, so it supports your team, your brand, and your growth. Let's get into it.
Welcome to this episode of Marketing in the Age of AI. I'm Emanuel Rose, and I'm going to look today at agent building, AI agent building. I've been getting a lot of questions and excitement in conversations with prospects and current clients. Of course, there's a lot of misconceptions and there's mistakes being made, and maybe a little bit of the hype has made it down to Main Street, essentially. But we'll look at a few things, what people are doing that is incorrect, what people do to get great results, and how this impacts marketing, and also talk a little bit about the structure of agents that I've found to be successful, and then what sort of pre-planning and documentation you need to get into the agent as a start for reaching your KPIs. And for me, as an AI development prosumer, I think of agents as junior level staff that I am giving direction to and giving resources to make the best decisions possible. And so think about training an AI agent versus just deploying it and set it and forget it. So we're training, we're managing, we're redirecting, we're having check-ins with the AI agent. And what I really like to do, depending on the activity that I've tasked it with, is to have it send me an update every day on accomplishments, what's working, what's not working, and how progress is going against the ultimate goal. So some of the things that people get wrong is starting with the tools and thinking, okay, I got this great tool, I gotta figure out something to do with it. Another thing that's pervasive, especially with AI agents, is they're building constitutions for agents that are way too broad. And so we got to think of these things as scalpels, and that they can achieve very specific finite activities and be successful at that. And then so keeping the narrow focus, not being too broad, and really working to be granular on that side. Also, a lot of people will neglect to add example documents or reference documents for success. And so that helps to train the AI agents as well. And then oftentimes the failure deployments don't clarify what success is. So we're as a strong play in the successful deployments, we're building one KPI. We know what the activity is that we're looking to create, which is, for instance, marketing situation, emailing and having a conversation with a prospective client, and that the success is when they schedule an appointment on the calendar of the person that is the contact from the company. So that the scheduling the calendar appointment is the primary KPI, and one or more agents will work underneath that KPI to make that happen. And that's where we want to have one clear job for the AI agent. So it could be crawl the internet and find all the roofers in the greater LA area And so then that agent, that's what they would have as their activity, and then you would further program it to connect with Go High Level, or place all those uh, leads into a CSV in Google Docs. You want to define the inputs and the outputs, and so in this example, we'd say, using Google or Google Maps, crawl for roofers in the greater LA area, and the output, once you find those roofers, would be name of the business, name of the owner, if possible, phone number, physical address, uh, email contact, website address, LinkedIn address, and so you have the inputs and the outputs clearly defined, and then telling it where to warehouse the information. We also, when we're programming these AI agents, have a number of documents that we create in order to create guardrails for them. And so we'll go through the list and talk a little bit about kind of what you have to have and what you should have. And then we are always testing and letting this agent mature, giving it feedback, and managing it. So that's what a successful AI agent deployment looks like. And why this matters for marketing is that we have the capacity for much faster campaign execution. We have the potential for personalization at scale. We also have less wasted labor, much better consistency, and also we have the ability to have an employee, have a contractor, to have a piece of software that's working for us 24/7, and if we start to stack these up in enough places where it makes sense in the marketing process, then we have better market penetration. So that's really the what's wrong, what is the best practice, and why it matters for marketing. If you haven't built an agent yet, then let's talk about that, which is we're starting with the KPI, not the tool. And here's a few examples. One, we could reduce response times to inbound leads. As we know, we could also build an AI agent that is the chatbot that's on the front of your computer. So the difference between just a regular chatbot and AI agent is the dynamism and how much you can leave it to solve the problem by connecting up the correct data sources to it, maybe from your CRM, and as well as from some other documents from customer service. We can increase qualified meetings booked, improve content production, that's for sure. And then also we can use these AI agents for research, for campaign planning. So there's a few examples. If you have some other ones, chat them in here, or send me an email, ask me some questions, or in the chat, ask some questions. The next thing we want to look at is that we're picking one narrow activity for it to accomplish. For instance, and we've seen this a lot, which is the summarize the sales call into the CRM ready notes. So you're connecting up your Fathom or any of these summary tools, Fixer, and then pushing them into the CRM, turning interview transcripts into content ideas. Beautiful. And then drafting emails from each account research that's happening, and then some ideas around performance data into weekly summaries, and then qualifying inbound leads against successful clients. So there's a few things that you don't want to do, which is run my whole marketing department. do all content strategy, analytics, and sales. There's just way too many steps and activities in there. And what I've seen is that if it gets too complicated, depending on the tool, but I would say this is overall true, is that you're going to lose the quality of the work that's being produced by the AI agent. Um, so we're also talking about defining the input, the output, and the success standard. Before building it, we should say, what is the data that's going into this agent and what really needs to come out of it? So, for instance, if we're crawling for roofers in LA area, we know very specifically what we want that record to be and where is it going, and that it's accurate. And um, and then the beauty is that we can attach other actions, which is to connect an enriching tool. And so then that step would be done by one agent, which is to go and crawl, bring back the information, make sure the enrichment happens, and then we'd create a second agent that then would call on that information and start to take action based on that information. Let's see. So we need to look at inputs. So it could be URL, connection to the CRM, and then what the account notes structure looks like. And I'm sorry, that would be the input. The output would be a 5-bullet summary, the next steps, recommendation, and drafting a follow-up email. And that brings up the point of making sure that we're making human in the loop an important part of the process for this, so that when there's drafting to be approved, say an email or direct messaging, until you're satisfied that you're getting good results from that tool, and as well as the daily reports. And then when there is success, I like to wrap back around and create an input about that too, to say this person schedule an appointment for to be on my podcast, and this is an AAA rated guest, and here are the reasons why, and find more people like this, so that you're giving it tasks to do, it's doing those activities, it's reporting back to you, and then ultimately you're giving it feedback on what success looks like and what failure looks like. So the next thing is kind of is the SOP capture, and we have a great tool called Strategic SOP that can help you with that, or you can speak it into a Zoom call or something. But you need to map out the exact steps that the agent is going to take, and then give it a little bit of direction on how to interpret and apply decision rules, and quality review, and then what is a successful handoff to the next agent in the sequence look like. We also got to add constraints and guardrails, what sources are acceptable for the agent to use, what it should never use, how to handle uncertainty, and what tone and brand rules apply, and what is critical, and when it must ask for help or escalate. So then after that, then creating all those documents and giving it guardrails and giving it success and giving it clear constitution, then you can start testing it, and then seeing how the agent is doing for actually executing your work, and accuracy, consistency, speed, how much human in the loop time it is versus what you thought it was going to be, and whether it's useful. And the real question is not is the output impressive, but would you actually want to manage this, and is it useful for you to spend time, money, energy, and lost opportunity on in order to maintain it? And are you getting the KPI that you were looking for? Ultimately, that's the question. And we're looking at time saved, the output acceptance. How good is that? How much revision time? Is there conversion success? Are we getting more speed into publishing? Is there a positive pipeline influence? And what's the cost per output? So once you start to make that assessment, then you've got to iterate quickly so that you've turned on this machine, this Energizer Bunny. You want to make sure that the activity that's involved in is useful. And so we've got to iterate, and I'd call it Ready, Fire, Aim, based on the book of that name. Very good book about getting things deployed and then iterating and innovating. So we need to look at improving or asking the question, should we improve the instructions, the examples, the templates, decision rules, source quality, and how they handle gray area decisions. So again, we stay focused on the idea that successful deployments of AI agents are not written once, set it and forget it. They're trained. They're trained through use and feedback, and it's on the operator to do that, either to do it yourself or to get help from a competent person to do it. So in this last section, I want to talk about the documents that we create in order to make sure that we're getting the best testing and actions out of our agents. The first one is the KPI brief, and this is one of the anchor documents, which includes the primary and secondary KPIs, the baseline performance, target improvement, who the owner is, and reviewing the cadence of the KPI. So, for instance, a primary KPI would be increasing book calls from outbound by 20%. A secondary KPI would be reducing rep research time by 50%. The next critical document is this agent constitution or job description, and this is the very clear delineation of the agent's name, what is its single job to perform, who the target user is, what the agent does, what it does not do, and how it's being used. This is like the job description, and you will build into your sequence once you have some understanding of this, the things not to do, and the very clear message to it that it should not scope creep from this job description or constitution. And then you have to measure against that and make sure that is really what's happening. So the next thing is to start clarifying what are the inputs. So we got to tell it exactly what data the agent needs. And so in the example of crawling roofers, we'd say you have access to the internet, to Google, to browser, to search. You have access to Google Drive. And so those are really the required inputs. And then there's some optional ones that they could also, be able to get into another tool like Full Enrich or any of those enrichment tools. And then we want to be clear about what the input formats are and the daily data requirements. So what are we expecting in terms of volume from this agent? And so we want to also understand what the output specification is and what it looks like when it's successful. So what the output format is, the length, the structure, the tone, required sections, data, points, acceptable variations, and then where it goes, right? Where is it going to place this information or activity? Is it going to be in a Google Doc? Is it going to be connected to Go High Level or Salesforce? Or is it going to be emailed to you? And then the next document is a decision rules. There's another high value doc, which includes a prioritization of actions, qualification criteria, scoring logic, brand and compliance constraint, and escalation conditions. So what happens if it reaches a spot it doesn't know what to do, and where does it reach out to get clarity? The next section is the examples library. We want to include best case examples, worst case examples, before and after, and then annotated examples, so that it provides a little more information about why it is good, bad, or indifferent. Then, of course, we're marketing, so we want to have brand and voice guidelines, and we need to know tone, vocabulary preferences, exclusion words. So one of my exclusion phrases is journey, or we are proud to announce. So those are things that I will never allow an agent to put into any content that's being created. Positioning language, call to action style, the lead magnets that you want this agent to reference, and then anything that's an audience specific nuance for this vertical, for this specific campaign. So you're going to talk to solo roofers differently than you're going to talk to corporate executives who are in the roofing business, that sort of thing. A source of truth document, which tells the agent which information sources outrank others. So approved data sources, source hierarchies, freshness requirements. It's an interesting thing. LLMs don't like to have information that's older than 18 months. And so if you're in an established industry, there may be reservoirs of information that are older than that you can direct it to. And then you also need to outline what to do when sources of information conflict with each other. So, for example, you could say CRM, current website, past deck, assumptions. Those would be the sources of truth. First the CRM, then the current website, past deck, and assumptions, and of course also the warehouse of information that each agent has, which is directional documentation as well. And then you want to also have a quality checklist. This is for the agent to review its own work, and it should include accuracy checks, completeness checks, style, factual, uncertainty rules, hallucination prevention checks, so that we know that the agent's not making things up and it's bringing good information to you, and if it's outbound, to your prospects. We also want to build out test cases and an evaluation sheet, which would include, which makes the agent a measurable system at this point, and it would include sample tasks, expected outcome, pass-fail criteria, scoring rubric, and then notes from the human back to the AI agent about the test case. Next document would be a feedback and iteration log, and this helps train the agent on what failed, what caused the issue, what changed, and the result after it changed. And finally, a workflow map, which includes what the triggers are, what triggers action from the AI agent, what the inputs are, the process steps, human review point, destination system, and the final owner. So it's a lot. There's it is like writing a piece of software each time, and so you want to pick projects that have high value and that are time consuming on your team, or for yourself, and then take 2 or 3 hours to develop each of these documents, total, a couple hours usually, and then start to test. And so if you're interested in some recommendations for AI agent building, I use the platform Gobii, GOBII.ai, which information will be in the show notes. Of course, you can use Cloud Code, and ChatGPT's got agentic functions, and there's a lot of other agent platforms. I prefer Gobii. It's very easy. and it's a good group of guys who developed that product. And but regardless of the platform that you use, I encourage you to make it a structured step-by-step process, and that way you'll get the best results. I hope this has been valuable to you. It's been a great review for me to see the work that the structure for the AI agent creation that we've created and use. And if you have any questions, I'd love to have a chat with you, either LinkedIn or right here on the platform that you're watching, or reach out to me. You can find contact information at emmanuelrose.com. But I certainly have gotten good value from the AI agents. They're accessible. And if it sounds complicated, too complicated for what you want to get into, then reach out to me. I'd love to walk you through how we do it and what we might be able to do to help you out with that. I hope this has been good for you. I hope also that you continue down your AI education process and spend some time today looking at how some of the AI tools can help you recoup a few hours a week by automating or agentifying, and that with that extra time you continue to upskill, that you spend that time with your friends and family, and that you get outside into nature away from the screens. This is Emanuel Rose, Marketing in the Age of AI.
Thanks for listening to Marketing in the Age of AI. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. Your copy of Authentic Marketing in the Age of AI is available at Amazon.com or EmanuelRose.com. You can also connect with Emanuel on LinkedIn. Thanks again for listening.